I've had the question of what are we, and I'm dancing around the answer. I mean, I think we just chilling, getting to know each other, and the person stays around, which tells me you ain't going nowhere anyway. The way I'm answering the question tells you I'm not really trying to be serious with you. Now, there are some scenarios where I say, well, I don't really want nothing serious, and they say, well, this ain't the thing for you. And now I'm on her line every day, like, yo, hold on, I didn't mean it like that. I just remember those scenarios, but I think the lady said it perfectly. Knowing your worth, and you don't gotta chase nobody, and you gotta accept what they say. Like, if you know this ain't the direction that you're going in, you gotta be willing to let that go. You just gotta be willing to let it go. So,
Yeah, I just thought of another ones too. It's like if they don't bring you out nowhere in public, I think that's a big one. Like especially no, for real, because there's some
or
people
outside the city
outside.
limits.
Like it's like we
To
go to a
Alpharetta.
date and then we go. You know what I'm saying? But like eventually, and I'm not saying it's a rush thing because I believe in like taking my time and because like the first time I was married. Well, when I was married, the first time it was like a quick joint, and I'm glad yours worked out. Mine was a little different experience, but we both had to grow. Nah, it's not even all her fault. It's definitely a lot. I had a lot to learn in that process. But when you getting serious with somebody, you want to bring them around the people that you care about because you want to see how everybody vibes and connects and stuff as well. Because like the worst thing you want to do is be dating somebody silently for a year and a half, 2 years, and bring them around and they falling out with everybody. You know, so it's like eventually somebody should bring you around at least a brother or a sister or somebody, one of their best friends. And if you start seeing that, but if you start seeing them at a lot of events, public events that you could have been invited to, but you weren't, you know, you probably just not there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just keeping it on it, you know?
So we've all heard,
That's a fact.
You got something, Maddie? Cracking up. We've all heard, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. To me, that means that you are a wife when you're found, right? So what are some of the things that your wife was displaying that made you say, and this is for everybody, but that made you say, I can't play with this one? Like, what were some of those things that you weren't willing to lose, so you weren't playing around, wasting her time, trying to see how much you could get away with or how you could get over?
For me, and this is,
You gonna answer
I don't know,
the
this is
question,
just me, right? I went through her Instagram, and she ain't had no sexy pictures like that.
Whew. Say it one more time. Say it one
That
more
joint
time.
did something for me. I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't no short shorts. There wasn't no looking back at it pictures. For me personally, if that's on your page, I'm not judging. I'm just saying that I went down. It was like family, friends, like dressed well. I said, ooh, ain't nobody see what I'm about to have. That was big for me. So.
Big bar. That's a big bar.
Yep.
Maddie is out of this conversation.
So for me, I think when I found my wife at the time, I didn't know she was gonna be my wife, but she was making more money than me, first off. And the second thing is, like, she was willing to get her hands dirty. I'm talking about everybody not willing to get their hands dirty. I'm talking about she outside scrapping metal with me. She gonna sell some fruit, gonna sell some T-shirts. Like, for me, that's important. Like, cause I said right now, everything is good right now. We got 4 kids. But if we lost it all tomorrow, we will go back to the trenches and do whatever it takes. So for me, if you can't go back to the trenches with me, like, yeah, she got the Lambo truck. She got whatever she wanted. My wife don't care about a material thing. You could miss her with anything material. But I know we could lose everything tomorrow, go back in the trenches if she got to go get a job, whatever it takes for us to get back. So that was something very important for me. And I noticed that earlier on versus a lot of my people I know, I was seeing them get with people and they was with them strictly for money. Straight, like, let me see what I could get out of this relationship. And I've never, ever had that feeling. And I can name on my hand 5 times. I don't even think I could name 5 times where my wife ever asked me for anything. Like, can you pay for my hair? I can't name right now, all of these years, 5 times in one hand where she said, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? She gonna go get on a bus. She would do anything. And before we got married, she already had a daughter. And it was like, she never asked for anything, struggling and everything. She was just going, I'm gonna go figure this thing out and not ask for nothing. So, not saying I didn't give anything, but that was big for me. because I was struggling too. Like I had businesses, but I wasn't making a lot of money when I started these businesses when I first started, freaking 13 years ago. So it was like, or 12, however long it was, but just the idea that you can find somebody that's just ready to grind for you, that's important to me. Like nothing else is more important to me than somebody ready to go get it with you by any means.
Let's go.
Maddie, you got something for us? He didn't pass this mic. You didn't looked all around. You got what you got?
I'm enjoying the conversation. This is a good conversation. So for me, when I met Erica in 2015, I was focused on business development, focused on income, impact for other people. However, I realized after I started tapping into the personal development that the only way to really develop a person is somebody has to expose you. Right? Somebody has to expose your flaws. And I'm around people who just show a lot of love and appreciation. So I'm not getting the real. And anybody who's married or is in a relationship knows that the person who knows you best is your spouse, somebody who lives with you. So one of the biggest things that allowed me to recognize that she's not to be played with was focusing on, most people focus on business development, and they might go as far as personal development, but they don't tap into spiritual development. So one of the biggest things that she focused on was making sure that she was spiritually grounded. She didn't just put in her bio, put God first. She ran the play for real. And how I knew she ran the play is when we were first dating, I lived in Atlanta, and she lived in LA. And I asked her if she goes to church, and she said she does go to church, but I wanted her to go to the church I go to. So I sent her the address, and the last experience I had, the relationships didn't work out because they didn't want to go to church. My wife, she ran the play. Not only she ran the play, all she talked about was how amazing the study was, her realizations, and it changed the game for me, making me realize that she focuses on the spiritual before the business.
Love it.
Thanks.
Okay, so for your single friends, your single lady friends, right? Your sis who wants to become a wife, what is your best piece of advice for her as a married, formerly married, gonna be married again one day, man? Like knowing what you know now, being in marriage, what is your advice for the single women?
I don't know if this is the best piece of advice, but I would really say you should go where, if you desire a certain man, I would go there. Like, I think you could find a nice man at a business conference, right? I think, right? So I would say you should go. You probably not, I don't know if you're going to find your guy at Magic City.
You might.
So
It's
now,
possible.
if you want guy, if you want that, meaning like somebody may be turning up, like promoter and nothing wrong, like however they get it, go where that person is. But I see a lot of nice gentlemen, a lot of nice women at these business conferences, literally looking for people. Now, the other thing is, I've never experienced this, but my partner Doug found his wife on Match. You said Tinder. It seemed like them apps must work. Just get with somebody to write the bio or something.
Gotcha.
But I really think that's critical. You should actually go where they are. And I tell, like my brother's quote, J.O. say, whatever you tune into, you turn into, whatever entertains you, train you. You need to be going where these individuals are. If it's church, go to church. If it's a conference, and they will run into you. Like somehow it's just going to happen if you stay in that arena long enough. And again, you may not want an entrepreneur. Go where I only know entrepreneurs.
There's
at
some
this
corporate
point, it seems
conferences
like.
out here with some
That's what I'm
corporate
saying.
men.
Go to some corporate conferences, and go to some retreats, some dating retreats, and Facebook groups and stuff. But that's just what I would do if I was looking.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, clap it up for that. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, hey, I don't know about that one, brother. I need the money. I would say, a lot of times what I tell my single friends that are girls is like date somebody the opposite of your type.